Have you guys ever been playing Call of Duty and then something just clicks? Like bang, boom, kill, shoot, get a new quest at headquarters? Wait, what? Call of Duty WWII is out and obviously marks a return to the World War II setting for the series. But despite, quote, going back to its roots, end quote, the series seems to have taken on some very modern influences. If you want a quick review, I've only played the multiplayer so far, but it's Call of Duty, I've said this before. If you like the games, it's more of the same. Fast, action-packed, die, respawn, die again. But it does have a much smaller feeling because of its boots on the ground gameplay. No more wall running or boost jumps making maps bigger and targets smaller. It's all about the close quarter stuff again. With some of these games, you can just tell their heart really wasn't in it. Black Ops 3's campaign was but the multiplayer clearly had thought put into it, despite what you think of the whole wall running and whatnot. Infinite Warfare's campaign was awesome, check out my video on that, but the multiplayer was a shallow husk of nothing. Now we have World War II, and it's surprisingly solid. Say what you want about loot boxes and microtransactions, but the moment-to-moment gameplay is Call of Duty action at its finest. It honestly feels like fans of the Call of Duty 4 and World at War days made this game, and just by that sentence you know if you're gonna like it or not. But I'm not here to do a full review of this game, plenty of people got that covered already. What I'm here to talk about is a moment that clicked with me on stream the other night. Win a match of Team Deathmatch in the next 9 hours. Yeah, you knew that. Pick up, you know what this is? Honestly, you know what this is? I just realized what this is. This is fucking Destiny. Oh shit. After that moment of realization, I just had to make a video. Yeah, you're at the tower. It just clicked. Oh my god. Okay, check this out. If you've never played Destiny before, I'm gonna break down an average session for you. So you load up the game and you're sitting in the menus. You could jump right into gameplay if you want, but most of the time players will stop at the tower first. The tower is a hub where online players can run around with each other and hang out. The game is usually played in a first-person perspective, but at the tower, it shifts to third person, clearly showing a break between the action of the game and the downtime of the tower. Plus, this helps you show off and look at the equipment you've unlocked from playing the game. There is a place to check your mail, a place to mess with your weaponry, a place to get new missions like killing a certain amount of something, and you even have basic emotes to interact with other players.
Watch phrase Oryx. Scanning.
You can also open up ENGRAMS you collect while playing to unlock new equipment to be used in-game. Once you are done getting all your stuff together, you go back to the menu and pick where you want to go to complete the missions you've gathered. And now you play the game in a first-person perspective and shoot and kill whatever your contract said to. Once done, you go back to the tower to open up the stuff you collected, mess with your equipment, and then do it all over again in the same maps over and over and over. And hey, some people enjoy these types of missions. Sure, they can get a bit repetitive, but they give you something to do and work towards every time you play. Sure, there's other things like the big raid you can do, that whole vault of glass thing, and there's multiplayer, but a lot of times that's what you do. Okay, I hope you guys are ready because I'm about to blow your fucking minds. In Call of Duty World War II, you load up the game and you're sitting in the menus. You could jump right into gameplay if you want to, but most of the time players stop at the headquarters. The headquarters is a hub where online players can run around with each other and hang out. The game is usually played in a first-person perspective, but at the headquarters it shifts to third-person, clearly showing a break between the action of the game and the downtime of the headquarters. Plus here you can show off and look at equipment you've unlocked from playing the game. There's a place to check your mail, a place to mess with your weaponry, a place to get missions like killing a certain amount of something, and you even have basic emotes to interact with other players. You can also open up loot boxes you collect while playing to unlock new equipment to be used in-game. Once you are done getting all your stuff together, you go back to the menus and pick where you want to go to complete the missions you've gathered. Now here you play the game in a first-person perspective and shoot and kill whatever your contract said to. Once done, you go back to the headquarters to open stuff you collected, mess with your equipment, and then do it all over again in the same maps over and over and over. And hey, some people enjoy these types of missions. Sure, they can be repetitive, but they give you something to work towards every time you play. Okay, now pick yourself up off the floor and listen. I changed 2 words in that description. 2. Call of Duty World War II is Destiny. Now obviously I don't mean in their setting or anything, but their structure is strikingly familiar when you describe it like that. Sure, a few things are a bit of a stretch. The medals kind of look like planets when you put them on a map like this, don't they? But both games are from Activision, and they are known for following new trends in their games, sometimes to a fault. When everyone thought Titanfall was going to be the next big thing, they went with wall running and sci-fi. And when games like Overwatch became popular with unique characters, they kinda tried to follow that trend too. Destiny didn't set the industry on fire, but it obviously worked well enough to make Activision money and to get a sequel with Destiny 2. So is it crazy to think they wanted to shift Call of Duty to this money-making formula? So fine, they're similar. Great video, Anthony, right? Well, I wanted to look at this setup and see what benefits it provides. Because in the shooter market, these are really the only two big games that are doing this exact thing. First, these hub environments provide a sense of community. Call of Duty has always been a kind of social game, best played with friends to try and one-up each other's KDs. So jumping into headquarters shows others out there playing and working towards the same thing you are. Loot boxes can be shady, but opening my first one and seeing a few people around me watch was kind of interesting. The hub is also a place to show off your hard work, if you want to call it that. I don't personally care about showing off things I've unlocked in games, but some do, like, yeah, I went through that and did that to get this, are you impressed? Another benefit I brought up before is just hanging out between matches. From a game design perspective, it keeps players in your game longer if they can take a break in the game. And from a more personal perspective, the little things can add so much to a game. I don't really do this type of thing anymore, but when I was younger, I used to love just standing around with friends and talking in a game. Dead or Alive used to have this cool little lobby system you could just run around and screw around in, and I distinctly remember playing Tony Hawk's American Wasteland online and just kinda chillin'. You could get off the board and stand around a bowl while one person tried to do a trick, and then you could try it, and then they could try it, so on and so forth. The closest thing to this recently is the skirmish mode in Overwatch. When people aren't being total dicks and shooting you on sight, it's fun to just stand around and say hello to online players.
Hi, I tried my best. 你好. Hi.
Greetings. Hello. Greetings.
안녕.
Point is, these moments of downtime can be fun and make a game a little more memorable. So in Call of Duty's headquarters, you can do the same thing, just sit around with friends and screw around between matches. They even encourage this type of thing with the R&R tent featuring classic Atari 2600 games from Activision. A nice little touch if you ask me. There is a shooting range to try out new guns and attachments so you don't have to do it in-game or load up a solo match or something. They have actual leaderboards you can walk up to and see instead of going into a separate menu. And they even have a way to test out kill streaks at this tower. You pick a kill streak and mess with it to your heart's content.
Firing battery 1. Target position confirmed. Target zone confirmed.
A good way to practice things you usually get in the heat of the moment in game, and just a fun way to screw around in general with the game's mechanics. I'm not saying the game is perfect, obviously, and none of these things are mind-blowing on their own, but like I said, it's sometimes the little things that makes a game stand out. Punching turkeys in Doom 3, picking up a lemur in Uncharted,
Sully, come on, it's a lemur. Come on, come say hi.
and playing Atari games while I sit around and wait for a friend to finish something up. All little details that make games memorable. If these hubs become a new trend in multiplayer gaming, I'm okay with that. Sure, the announcement was kind of cryptic, showing off a crowd of people, making me think Call of Duty was going all Battlefield on us, but in the end, it's a harmless feature that just adds a little character to a game that is otherwise very much the same. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this was a quick, short little video, but after I noticed the comparison of Destiny and Call of Duty, I had to do the comparison, and I hope it was worth your time. Anyways, if you like this video, hit that like button to support the show, and subscribe to the channel if you're not. And if you want to go above and beyond, consider supporting this channel on Patreon. That being said, let's give a special thanks to everyone who donated over $5 on there. Go! Cue the old-timey war sound effect. There you go. All right. Drew Iterator Rick, thank you. Xavier Charlotte, thank you. Carlos Ruiz, thank you. Let me know if I said that right. Riley Davidson, thank you. Gabe's Venture, the Venture Brothers, thank you. Eric G. Griggs, thank you. Darian A. Mann, thank you. They Call Me Pepper, thank you. Curtis Wilson, thank you. Deep Tech, thank you. Luke Water, thank you. Jay Bodane, thank you. Carl Seitz, thank you. JJ Tube, thank you. TJ Grum, thank you. Omar Diaz, thank you. Paul Witowski, thank you. $2, thank you. I am $2. Ryan O'Connell Shadowcloud, thank you. And Frederick Moeller, thank you. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. It means a lot. I'll see you on the next one. Bye!